30 meters high, 27 tons of pure gold used only for the inner coating, bronze columns 8 meters tall, each weighing around 34 tons, entire walls covered with cedar imported from Lebanon, carefully polished cypress floors, gigantic cherubim 4.5 meters tall, fully covered in hammered gold. Solomon's temple was not just another architectural project. It became the most expensive, most grand, and most technically advanced construction of the entire ancient world. 7 full years of continuous labor were necessary until its completion, and it consumed more gold than any other known building of that era. But here is the detail that leaves experts perplexed to this day. The foundation stones weighed up to 400 tons each. That equals the weight of about 60 adult elephants. And all of that was done without cranes, without metal pulleys, without proper wheels. The big question is, how were such colossal stones cut, transported, and placed with millimetric precision nearly 3,000 years ago? Modern engineers analyze the numbers and simply have no answer. Because the temple wasn't just grand, it seemed impossible. In this video, you will discover the techniques, materials, and secrets used in that astonishing construction. And at the end, you will understand why even today, no one has been able to reproduce what Solomon built. The great and precious stones. Solomon was not satisfied with ordinary stones. The Bible, in 1 Kings 5:17, states that large and costly stones were used for the foundation of the house of the Lord. Centuries later, archaeologists studying the platform of the Second Temple, built over the same location, found blocks exceeding 400 tons. Imagine cutting a block that size from a mountain. No dynamite, no electric saws, no modern equipment at all. For this task, Solomon assigned 80,000 men. They woke up before sunrise, walked long distances, and began the most dangerous job of the entire construction: cutting gigantic stones. These stones required perfect cuts, exact fits, and leveled surfaces, so each block would fit precisely in its place. And there was a divine rule that made everything even more complex. No sound of iron tools could be heard at the construction site. 1 Kings 6:7. That meant every stone had to arrive completely finished. All cuts, angles, and surfaces needed to be done far from Mount Moriah. The cutting technique. The method was ingenious. Workers marked the line where the stone needed to break. Small holes were drilled along that line. Dry wooden wedges were inserted into the holes. Water was poured over the wedges. As the wood absorbed the water, it expanded, creating enormous pressure. Hours or days later, the stone split exactly where intended. No dynamite, no loud hammer strikes, just the muffled sound of stone dividing. Then each block had to be shaped, polished, and measured with precision. Symbols engraved on the stones indicated their exact position, since paper blueprints didn't exist. One mistake, and a 400-ton stone became useless. Constant danger. Quarry work was extremely risky. Rock collapses, massive blocks rolling downhill, anything could kill dozens instantly. No protection gear, no hospitals nearby. Yet day after day, the 80,000 men returned to the quarries. Why? For the Israelites, there was pay and the hope of returning home after service. But the Canaanites had no choice. 1 Kings 9:20-21 says they were forced into labor. And cutting was only the beginning. The deadly challenge came next: transporting 400-ton stones. How do you move a 400-ton block for kilometers across mountains without machines? Solomon assigned 70,000 transporters. The method? Dirt ramps, tree trunks as rollers, thick ropes made from plant fiber. Imagine hundreds of men holding ropes, a supervisor shouting, "Pull! Stop! Reposition the rollers! Pull again!" Sometimes the block advanced centimeters per hour. Weeks to move a single stone just 5 kilometers. But the temple could not fall behind schedule. It had to be finished in exactly 7 years. Silence on the construction site. When the blocks finally reached Jerusalem, the divine rule returned. No sound of iron tools. No hammering to adjust placement. If a block didn't fit, it had to be dragged back and tried again. 3,300 supervisors checked every detail. 550 chief officers commanded the whole project. Not a military campaign, but organized like one. Because the temple was God's house, it had to be built with reverence. Every silent movement was an act of worship. The cedar from Lebanon, an impossible distance. The temple could not be built only with stone. It required cedar wood from Lebanon, the most valuable timber of antiquity. Strong, aromatic, resistant to decay. But there was a problem. Israel didn't have cedars. The trees were 200 kilometers away. Mountains, valleys, rivers, rough terrain. Solomon made a costly pact with Hiram, king of Tyre. Israel paid 20,000 cores of wheat per year, 20,000 baths of olive oil per year, millions of liters of provisions. 10,000 Israelites were sent to Lebanon, working in monthly shifts, 1 month away, 2 months at home. After the trees were cut, logs were tied into rafts, transported by sea to the port of Joppa, then moved 60 more kilometers by land. Piece by piece, Jerusalem became the storage site of the world's finest wood. The shine of gold. Inside the temple, pure gold everywhere. Walls, ceilings, floors, furnishings, decorations. Even the most holy place, 9 by 9 by 9 meters, was fully coated. 27 tons of gold only for the inner structure. A masterpiece of glowing light. The master craftsman. A man named Hiram or Huram from Tyre led the metalwork, 1 Kings 7:13-14. He created the bronze pillars Jachin and Boaz. The huge bronze basin supported by 12 bronze oxen. Countless utensils and ornaments. Furnaces burned day and night. Working the gold was exhausting and dangerous. But every plate hammered into shape was another piece of the divine project completed. The giant cherubim. 2 4.5-meter-tall golden cherubim spread their wings inside the most holy place. Between them, the Ark of the Covenant, a visual display of God's glory on earth. Where did all that gold come from? 1 Kings 10:14 states Solomon received 660 talents of gold every year, over 22 tons annually. From neighboring kingdoms, from controlled mines, from tribute and gifts. Much of it was dedicated to the temple. Everything shone. 150,000 workers in perfect coordination. The Bible records 80,000 stonecutters, 70,000 transporters, 3,300 supervisors, 550 chief officers. Total, around 150,000 workers. Multiple work fronts, quarries, Lebanon forests, metal forges, all operating like a single organism. And incredibly, Construction finished on schedule, 7 years and 255 days. The dedication. In the 11th year of Solomon's reign, the temple was completed. During the Feast of Tabernacles, Israel gathered for the dedication. Priests carried the ark into the most holy place, and suddenly, a cloud filled the temple. Not normal smoke, but the glory of the Lord so intense that the priests couldn't stand to minister. 1 Kings 8:10-11. God himself had come to dwell among his people. 22,000 bulls and 120,000 sheep were offered as part of the celebration. The impossible achieved. Solomon's temple was the greatest construction of antiquity, not just for its size, materials, or gold, but because it was built in silence, with discipline, purpose, and faith. Many workers lost their lives, but those who lived saw the impossible become real. The Creator living among his people. And that is the message the temple still gives us today. What is impossible for man, God makes possible. The temple was never only about gold and stones, but about the presence of the Lord filling the house. If this message is blessing your life, subscribe to the channel now. Activate the notifications so you don't miss any content, because here, every week we dive into deep biblical stories, revelations, and details you may never have heard before. Your subscription helps us spread God's word even farther. So subscribe now and join us on this journey.